Welcome back to Roy on Rescue. I wanted to take a little bit of time. It's Friday afternoon, but I just was made aware of a situation that happened in a high school, Fenville, Michigan, where a 16-year-old athlete, apparently the star of the team, really, on this given night, made the winning shot, was greeted by friends and family and teammates out on the court, and suddenly dropped to the floor in sudden cardiac arrest. The autopsy is showing that it was a condition of a thickening of the heart wall, kind of a enlargement of the heart, to keep it in layperson terms, that's normally associated with what we see in like hypertensive patients, people that live with high blood pressure for a long period of time. The reason I really wanted to talk about this is not to necessarily scare people, but to talk about some of the aspects of the differences, because I'm sure that there are people that are wondering, well, what's making this happen? This isn't the first athlete that we've heard about who has done a great job. They're extremely in good shape, and they suddenly die of sudden cardiac arrest on the field or on the court. What is going on? Is this going to happen to my child? And so on. It sounds like about 1 in 500 people have this cardiomyopathy, this problem with this enlarging of the heart that's not what we would look at as what we call an athlete's heart, or an enlarging or thickening of the muscle overall, which is a strengthening of the heart muscle. And though it does enlarge in marathon runners, athletes, people that work out on a regular basis, it's not making the chambers of the heart less effective. Now, this cardiomyopathy that we're talking about, this enlargement of the heart that we're talking about, that's pathogenic or is a disease that's causing the sudden cardiac arrest, it's enlarging in the wrong area, making the chamber of the heart that holds the blood smaller and smaller, so that the efficiency of the blood flow is reduced more and more. And this is apparently a hereditary thing, and basically it gets to a certain point that it no longer can function correctly to circulate oxygenated blood to the areas of the heart that need it, and the heart goes into a dysrhythmia or an arrhythmia, and the victim falls to the floor or falls down in cardiac arrest. Now, that's kind of where this leads to, and I think it's really important that we make that distinguishment. One is this distinguishing factor. One is a disease process. The other is a conditioning of the heart associated with working out and becoming healthy, and the two are not the same. To react to this, so I'm going to talk about what the disease is, what the reaction should be, and then I'm going to talk about how to prevent this potentially in the future. The reaction is going to be extremely vital. You have an individual who's normally fairly healthy, probably all other organ systems are healthy, unless this has been a long time coming and there's been other processes going on. Immediate cardiopulmonary resuscitation without delay with fast, deep compressions will be essential after activating emergency medical services. 2, an automated external defibrillator placed on the person's chest and allowed to defibrillate as fast as possible will be essential to correcting the dysrhythmia. I read the news report. I didn't read anything that said that there was an AED available or on scene. I don't know if this is going to have ramifications from a legal aspect. I know I've been encouraging coaches and anywhere that there's athletes in sports to definitely have an AED. They're invaluable to converting the dysrhythmia in the heart that causes sudden cardiac arrest, and time is of the essence. So activation of 911 or EMS, fast, deep CPR on the unconscious, non-moving, abnormal breathing or no breathing patient, and then AED as fast as possible, and then continue that treatment until EMS arrives. Circulating oxygenated blood throughout the body as best as we can. I don't know if bystanders started CPR on this victim. I don't know any of the details. It's still very fresh. It just happened yesterday, I believe. Now let's move on to how to prevent it. The only way to really know that there's a problem is if it's symptomatic. In other words, is the child or the person suffering some type of symptoms related to this cardiomyopathy, this problem with enlarging of the heart and a decrease in circulation of oxygenated blood. Usually from dizziness, shortness of breath, chest pain, blacking out suddenly without reason, and usually gets better with rest. That should be a sign to take them into the doctor and ideally into a cardiologist. An EKG has been said to not be quite enough. It probably needs to have an echocardiogram as well, which is going to actually look at the heart and be able to see if there's thickening of the heart wall that's a disease process, not just a conditioning process of an athletic heart. Two differences, very different, and need to be distinguished. But again, the essential part of this is recognizing that there was an emergency on the floor, immediate activation of 911, immediate action of CPR, and an AED as fast as possible could have potentially changed the outcome. I don't know that for sure, but I do know that there's a lot of studies that show that with deep, fast compressions, we can circulate oxygenated blood to vital organs and to the brain and sustain the dying process longer so that there may be a viable chance for a normally healthy individual, of which I think this person was. It's essential. Be aware of it. It's happening too frequently, and I thought that you might want to know. I'm sure it's in the news. I know it's in the news. It's how I heard about it from some colleagues as well as the news. But I'm sure you're going to be thinking about this. Most of you probably know somebody or have kids that are athletic. We don't need to fear things. We just need to become educated and recognize the signs and symptoms, know how to prevent it, and know how to treat it. So from Roy on Rescue, keep on rescuing, stay educated, and I hope this helped.